Hello, welcome to my very short talk on Right View. I'm glad you're here. So, first I'm going to give you a quote. This is from Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, and in the book The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching, he said, "Our happiness and the happiness of those around us depend on our degree of right view. Touching reality deeply, knowing what is going on inside and outside of ourselves is the way to liberate ourselves from the suffering that is caused by wrong perceptions." So, right view is not an ideology, a system, or even a path. It is the insight we have into the reality of life. A living insight that fills us with understanding, peace, and love. A living insight that fills us with understanding, peace, and love. So, seeing the world as it is what right view is about. It's about really seeing it without... We have a lot of filters from our various delusions and our emotional baggage, and right view is about trying to see things as they really are. And in Buddhism, we say that there's a teaching called the Three Marks of Existence, and it is the thing that Buddha realized is that really what it comes down to is that there are three things that are fundamental to human existence, and right view is just really understanding these three things and having them in mind. And so I'm going to tell you what the three marks of existence are. They are impermanence, suffering, and no self. So, impermanence tells us that really everything falls apart, nothing lasts forever, including you and me, and I think, I feel like sometimes you have to tell young people about impermanence, but with older people you don't really have to tell them because they know. So, but still we tend to cling to things and want them to last forever, or want them to last longer than they're lasting. We tend to hang on to that a lot, and that's why people spend so much money trying to look younger or whatever, because they're just clinging and thinking, well, I don't want to be impermanent, right? So, understanding that impermanence is the nature of things is a part of right view. And the second mark of existence is called suffering, or sometimes it gets called dissatisfaction. The word is dukkha, and sometimes it gets called dissatisfaction, but it really just means what the Rolling Stones said in that song: you can't always get what you want. Life is not going to meet all your expectations. The fact is, life is going to disappoint you a lot of the time, and life is just going to get worse a lot of the time, and it's a matter of really accepting that we can't have what we want all the time, and that life's not going to fulfill all our desires. That's really what understanding the second mark of existence, the reality of suffering, is about. We can't have unrealistic expectations for the world, because we will get disappointed every time. And the third mark of existence, I think, is the one people kind of have trouble with, and it's anatman, or no self. And really what that comes down to is we tend to think of ourselves as this independent being that is separate from the world around us, and that's not realistic. We can see very easily how the things around us are connected, but we don't always see how we're connected to everything around us. But we all rise out of causes and conditions just like everything else in the world. I've heard it said, you don't come into the world, you come out of it, because the world makes you. And I think that it helps us to think in that way. So that's the teaching of no self. It's just that you don't have a separate thing we can hold on to. You don't have... So other religions might teach that you have a soul. That was the predominant religion in the Buddhist time, taught that there was a soul, and that soul, that spirit, you could hang on to as yourself, and it would move on to other lives and other worlds. And the Buddhist teaching is there's no fundamental part of you that's going to last forever. It's all impermanence, and there's no self, and there's no part of you that's not a product of your environment, and that's not connected to everything. So those are the three marks of existence, and it's really can be challenging to kind of turn our minds so that we can have a view that understands those, because they are a little bit hard to grasp, and we have to make reminders for ourselves, but really that is fundamental to right view. So that has been my very short talk on right view. Thank you for listening. I hope that you've enjoyed it and it has been helpful.